Hello and welcome to the orientation webinar about Southeastern Special Library Catalog Service. I'm Kelsey Milner, Resource Sharing and Cataloging Librarian.
And I'm Zack, Spalding, Systems Manager at Southeastern.
Thank you for taking time out of your day to attend this webinar. This is the sixth installment in our series of short webinars providing an overview of the services Southeastern offers to its members. Our goal is to make sure our members know about the resources, services, and programs they have access to, and who they can contact with questions or for more information. This slide lists the other webinars which we've been hosting monthly. We have one more left in this series. Look for the registration link at the bottom of this slide. All of the past webinars have been recorded and are posted to our YouTube channel. We're kicking off the webinar by sharing a little bit more about where Southeastern fits into the library landscape. Southeastern New York Library Resources Council, or Southeastern for short, is a nonprofit membership organization that has been serving libraries and cultural heritage organizations since 1967. Our service area includes the 8 counties that are shaded on the map. We provide services to libraries of all types: public, academic, special, hospital, and school. We also partner with other library systems. In the Southeastern region, that includes the Mid-Hudson and Ramapo-Catskill library systems and 5 BOCES school library systems. Southeastern is one of 9 of these councils in New York. Together, all of the councils make up the Empire State Library Network, or ESLN for short. Besides this webinar series, there are many ways to engage with Southeastern services and staff. You can sign up for our monthly newsletter. We also have ongoing special interest group meetings where you can meet and exchange ideas with your regional colleagues. And after this webinar series, you'll have a better idea of all the services and programs that are available to your organization. You can find more details on the Southeastern website, www.sunnylurk.org, or get in touch with Tessa Killian, the Executive Director of Southeastern. Today's webinar will take you on a quick tour through our special library catalog service. We won't take questions during the presentation, but you can put your questions in the chat as we go along or save them for the end, and we'll answer them after we stop the recording. So let's get started. I wanted to start by sharing a little bit more about what our special library catalog service is. There are a lot of special libraries in our region, such as those of state agencies, historical societies, or other nonprofits that have a need for a library catalog. They want to make sure their items are more available to the patrons or staff at their organizations. However, some catalog services can be extremely pricey, especially for organizations not part of a larger consortia to offset costs. Southeastern provides these small organizations with a catalog that is both affordable and easy to maintain. We use the open source system Koha to create these catalogs. Southeastern manages technical aspects of the catalog in addition to providing training to staff on the system. These catalogs have all the modules needed for basic library functions, such as circulation, acquisition, reporting, and cataloging modules. I should note here that these catalogs are just for special or small academic libraries. The school and public library systems in our region provide catalogs to their members as one of their core services. I wanted to share just a little bit more about Koha. It went live in 2000 and has been steadily used across the world ever since. Koha is easily scalable and can work well for small and large organizations alike. As an example, we have worked with organizations with library collections ranging from 50 items to 80,000 items. Its open source nature, meaning it is free to use and modify, has encouraged a lot of global collaboration around the project. There are tons of resources for Koha users, including videos, how-tos, manuals, and other wikis. There are also frequent updates to the system with new features and other changes. Fun fact, the word Koha is a Maori term for the word gift or offering. I've included a link to Koha's official website here. It has some great information on the system and links to the resources that I mentioned. If you want to know more about the system itself, this is a great place to start. I'm going to kick it over to Zack, who is going to talk about the technical infrastructure behind our Koha catalogs and the technology services that he provides.
Thank you, Kelsey. So for Koha, we run Koha in a cloud environment. We contract with Amazon's AWS services. And with that, we get 2 servers. We have one that's dedicated to the web hosting and all the associated web pages to run the interface that you would use as an administrator and your end users would use as the OPAC. The second server is our database server, and that's where all the data gets stored. So anything with patron records, bibliographic records would all be stored in the database. Both servers get backed up every day, and we usually retain about 7 days worth of backups. In cases of special circumstances, if we're doing an update or any type of maybe mass change to records, I will go in and I'll do what we call a snapshot and keep a special backup. And that would stick around for a lot longer, just to make sure that the work that was done was correct. And if we had to, we could always go back to that snapshot. I could also do snapshots on request. So if you, as a cataloger, were doing some major work and we're concerned about having a backup, I could always keep a snapshot on hand. And as you did your work, you would have that to fall back on yourself. Koha does 2 updates a year, one in the fall, one in the spring. And as part of service, we do apply those updates, and we're usually within 2 or 3 months of the release, getting those updates applied. And then once the updates are released, we are able to use those for about 18 months. That is how much the community support around the project is per release. And then after that, you really do have to do an update. Also, as part of the service, we do customizations for everyone. We usually don't mess around with the layout of the web pages or things of that nature, but we do change colors, and we can definitely apply logos just so you can have that look and feel and that branding that you have at your own organization to make this fit in with the rest of your site and your user base. We also handle the integration with our virtual union catalog. So in our region, it's called SEAL, Southeastern Access to Libraries. And once your catalog is up and running, we will also handle the technical side to make sure that your catalog is appearing in SEAL and available for the general population to see in the region. We also do bulk importing. So if you're coming to us from another service and you're bringing your records over, you can give us that file, and then we will work with it, and we will get all of the data migrated into Koha. We can also work with bulk edits. So that's after everything is in Koha. If there's a specific category you're working with, selection criteria, we can go ahead and do those edits. If it's something that you do on a regular basis, we can more than just train you, so you'll be able to do it yourself, because a lot of the edits are all done through the admin interfaces. And we can also do a bulk export if you need to export records for another service or for some special project you're doing. But if we were to do it, there is a fee. But you can also do it yourself. It is part of the admin interface. And now I'm going to go back to Kelsey on training.
Thanks, Zach. I wanted to share a little bit more about what I do. So I provide training to any new staff at our Koha libraries on basic features of the system. So we work on getting accounts set up for staff and then walk through both the administrative and public side of the catalog so users become familiar with how everything works. I also provide training on using the cataloging module, and this is kind of my specialty. You can probably tell by my job title. So I provide training on finding suitable catalog records. Through Koha, you are able to search other libraries' records through a protocol called Z39.50. And using this, you can locate good MARC records and easily bring them into your catalog. I also teach on how to use the cataloging module to edit these records. In addition to training, I provide documentation and general support to our libraries, which includes maintaining a LibGuide. And the LibGuide includes a manual with step-by-step instructions on specific workflows, as well as the directory of our participating libraries. The directory includes links to each individual catalog. I also include copy cataloging resources and then some select resources from the general Koha community. Part of my job includes making sure that this stays up to date and that any new resources are incorporated into LibGuide. So you can check out that guide at the link on this slide. So now that we've talked a bit more about the service and our roles in support, Zach and I are going to show you the catalog in action. So I'm going to show you some features on the public-facing catalog, while Zach will show the administrative side of Koha. I'm just going to go ahead and share my screen really quickly. So for this demonstration, I'm going to be working with a couple of different catalogs. This is the homepage for one of our member library catalogs, the Nathan Klein Institute for Psychiatric Research. As Zach mentioned, one of the things we can provide is customization for your individual organization. So we can add logos, we can incorporate a color scheme, and add links back to specific websites that are affiliated with your organization. So this is kind of a basic design, but Koha does allow for more customization on these pages. You can also add your library's hours, a login option for patrons, or any other information that is relevant to your library. I'm actually going to switch over to Southeastern's catalog now, which we use for testing and for demonstrations. This way I can log in and do a few things and it won't cause issues with anyone else's catalog. So this is our catalog, and you can see that I'm logged in as a patron, and logging in will give you access to a few additional things like holds and social features such as comments. So the catalog has a search bar along the top where patrons can do general keyword searches for items. There is also an advanced search option where you can craft more specific searches. So advanced search allows users to search for multiple keywords at once. You can also search on specific things like title or author. You can also limit on other facets such as item types or date ranges. And there's also an option to change how you want your search results to be sorted, such as making them sort by date, title, or author's last name. And the default is to search by relevance. So I'm going to do a test search on the word libraries because I know that we have a few of those books with that keyword in this catalog. I'm going to go ahead and search. So this is what your catalog search results will look like for patrons. If you ever do a search and there's only one result, the catalog will automatically open that record and bypass the search results screen. You can also refine your search by using the facets on the left-hand side. So we have facets like authors, series, item types, places, topics, and more. So every search result will come in with some information on the book. And if possible, the catalog will pull images of covers using ISBNs. So I'm going to scroll and see if I can find a few of those. Okay, so there's an example. These are often pulled from Amazon or Google Books. So it'll also bring on information on the author, the material type, and other publication details about the item. The current availability status will also display. One of the features that I really like is the ability to add items to a list or to a cart. Your cart is a temporary list that will automatically clear out after a single session, and your lists are more permanent and can be accessed and managed in the patron account. So when you add items to a cart, you can actually email a list of those books to a specific email address. That means you can really easily create lists of books for yourself or for your patrons on items to consult. So to add things to a cart, you would click into this box that's next to the title and then select Add to Cart. So you can view your cart by scrolling up and selecting Cart. So if you open it, you'll have a few different options. You can email it, you can download it, and you can also print a copy of it. If you are logged into your patron account, you'll also have a few other options. You can place a hold on an item. You can also add an item to an internal list. So I've made a fake list for myself called my to read list. So I'm just going to add that quickly to this item. So if you click on the item title, it'll open up a record with more details. So I'm going to find and open a book called The Small Library Manager's Handbook, which was actually written by a former Southeastern employee, Alice Graves. So I'm going to open up that record. So certain information is pulled from the MARC record to display for patrons. This includes some publication information, alternate titles, if there are any, subjects, and a summary, and then your holdings information will all come in below. Over on the right-hand side, you'll have some options. You can place a hold from here. You can save it to a list. You can also print or download the record. And if you click on MARC View, you can actually open up and then view the whole MARC record. If you are logged in, you can also post comments on a specific item. This is one of the social features for Koha. And Koha is set up so that library staff have to approve any comments before they're published, which is probably for the best. So since I am logged in, I also wanted to show you some of the patron count features. So if you click under your name, you can select your account. It'll open up on a list of your checkouts. I don't have any since this isn't a real catalog, but you'll also be able to see your library holds. So I've placed a fake hold on a book called Resource Sharing Today, which is also why I wanted to use this test catalog. So the count is pretty similar to library counts and other catalog systems, in that you can see any fines that you've accrued. You can also see your personal details. You can also change your password. You can view what you've searched the catalog for. You can view your checkout history. You can also make a purchase suggestion if there's ever a book that you think a library should go ahead and add to their collection. You can also view your internal list. So this is where I would find and be able to manage my fake list, my to-read list. So if you open it up, you can do a few things here. You can place a hold on it, you can remove it, you can add it to your temporary cart, or you could save it to another list. So this is just a very brief overview of the OPAC and some of the patron features. Our libraries that participate kind of pick and choose which modules they want to use for their catalogs. Some of them actually choose to not use the catalogs to circulate items, but more as a record of what they have in their collection. There's a lot of tailoring that we can do to meet the needs of an individual library. And Koha is pretty flexible and robust in what it can do, which is what makes it a great option for our libraries. So I'm going to throw it back to Zack for an overview of some features in the administrative side of the catalog.
Thank you, Kelsey. So when you do get set up with Koha, this is the interface that you would see as an administrative user. And for this, we're going to go over cataloging, patrons, and reports. So one of the basic features everybody uses this for is cataloging. You come in with a bulk set of records, and we can do that. But you might come in and you want to add one record at a time, or you might need to add just new records over time. So the system makes it really easy. So you can do some copy cataloging through 39.50. So you do that right at the top when you're in the cataloging module. In this case, we're going to put in a title. We already have some predefined 39.50 targets for defined for everyone, and I got 3 that are defaulted. So right now we're going to do 5-minute clinical consult for 2023. And it came right back with a record from Case Western. So right here I have the options. I can go and take a preview. So I can just take a glance at what type of mark data they were doing. And if everything checked out the way I wanted to, I can go right on and import it. And this will copy from Case Western and put it right into my catalog. And from here, I can go ahead and modify some of the marked fields if I wish. If I don't want to do any of that, I could go right to save and go right to my items. Oh, but the system does check for if something's missing. In this case, I'm missing an item type. So I can go right to the field. And if I go to the 900s, and there it is, it's just telling me what the item type is. In this case, I'm just going to make it a print book. And now I'm going to go do my save edit items. So when we're in the items, items is just so you want to make sure that you're assigning it to your library. So it shows up in your search results, which by default it did. And then from here, you can do whatever you need to do cataloging wise to fit your needs. And then once that is done, you just add the item, and that has now been added to my catalog. A nice feature is the reporting. So as Kelsey has mentioned, Koha does have a great user base and community, and there's lots of reports you can get. We've been doing this a number of years ourselves. So right now we already come with predefined reports of what has been needed over the years, and they've worked out well for us. So in this case, I'm going to go right and do a book inventory. In this case right here, and I just click on run. And it's going to go through and it's going to generate an inventory for me. Now, if I want, I can go ahead and download this into a CSV file. So I can open up and work in Excel if I wish. But right now I can just go off and see, if I'm missing titles, ISBN, OCLC, author. In this case, where I want to take a look at a certain title that I happen to know is on page 364. And just to find out what information I have. So this is the title I was looking for. And I see I'm missing the OCLC number. So I'm going to take this title and I'm going to go back to cataloging, and we're going to do an update. We're going to update our mark record through 39.50. So I go back to cataloging and put my title in. And here it is. So right at the top, when I'm writing my record, I could do edit, and I could just say replace records to 39.50. And it's going to bring up all the targets that we have available. Now, the one thing I need to do in this one is that the ISBN number has extra data in it, if not ISBN related. So I'm going to take that out so it doesn't mess up my search. But once we do that, it will go through. We found a record from each of them. So I would go through and pick which one's the best. In this case, I'm going to go with the L&M record, and I'm going to say import. And it goes through, and it's almost, and it'll replace what I need to replace. And then I can just save and view record. Oh, it's telling me that there's some fields missing. So I just double check. Make sure I got everything. And we go back and then we do the view. And that is how we do updating. Now, the other one would be patrons. So we usually don't have many people who import bulk patrons, but we can. If you had some patron username and passwords, we can do some bulk importing. Most people just go into the admin module and then they just add people one at a time as they need it to feed their needs. It's very simple. You go right into patron. Right here, you use your new patrons. So in this case, it's the staff, but depending on your needs, we can definitely do different types with different permissions, and you can even do different rules for each type. But it's very basic. You fill in what you feel is appropriate with the name and address, and none of those is required. All these are just what you need. What does your situation require? The only time you get to required is when we start getting down to card number. And if you don't have anything set up, we usually just start with one and go increment from there. And then of course the username and password, so they can log into their accounts. But that is essentially with patrons and cataloging. And that is concludes our tour of Koha. So back to if you